Howdy folks, welcome to Katie Phillips Scrapbook Designs. I'm Katie and today we're going to work on fin number 2 in a wedding album that I'm putting together for a colleague. Alright, here is the base page. This is 8 inches by 7 3/4, and on the 8-inch side we're going to score this at 1/2 inch and 7 1/4 inches. This is a pocket, so we're going to score this. This is the 4 1/2 by 8 3/4 piece. We're going to score the 4 1/2 inch side at 4 inches. And we're going to score the 8 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to fold that under. And we're going to score it 7 3/4. This is the 7 by 11 piece. We're going to score the 11-inch side at 5 1/2 inches. If we can, this board can be a little bit of a challenge at the 5 1/2 inch mark. Let me see if I can just fold it in half here. That will have to do. Okay, this is the 8 1/2 by 7 piece and the 8 1/2 inch side. We're going to score this at 8 inches. 7 3/4. And this is the 7 3/4 by 7 1/4, and we're not going to score this. This page is going to be a pocket. This is the 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece. So one of these 8 1/4 inch sides we're going to score at 7 3/4. And then the other side, we'll rotate that around. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Fold that under. And we're going to score it 7 1/4. And we're going to repeat that with this second page. For the frame element that we're going to be building, we're going to go ahead and cut the mat for the frame because it's easier to do this with the pattern paper already on it. And we are going to cut this to 7 and I gotta double check my memory here. Okay. So we're going to cut it to 7 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to take either of these pockets. It doesn't matter which of these larger pockets we use, and we're going to glue this down. And I went with a more neutral pattern for this, just, because it's going to be a photo frame. I don't want the frame detracting too much from the photograph inside. So we're going to eyeball about 1/8 of an inch, border all the way around. Burnish that down real good. All right, I want to cut a 5x7 opening in this piece. So I need to make a couple of marks on here. This is an 8¼ inch wide total piece of paper. So to get the 5x7 centered, I need to make a mark at 1 1/8. And then I need to come back 1 5/8. So I need to come back 1 5/8 inch here. So 7¼ is 1 inch. 6 3/4 is 1 1/2 inches. So 6 5/8. That should be 5 inches. Yes. And I need to repeat that in one other spot. So 1 5/8. Now I'm just going to draw a line. All right, and the window is going to be 7 inches tall. And again, this is 8 1/4, so I need to take 2 1/4 inches off, which means that I need to make a mark at 1 1/8 from the top. And I'm sorry, no, I don't need to take 2 1/4 inches off. I need to take a much smaller piece off of that. I need to take 1 1/4 inch total off of that. So I need to make a mark at 5/8 and 7 5/8. Oh, you know what? This 1/2 inch score line is throwing it off. So we're 7 3/4, and so I need to take 3/4 of an inch off, and that's going to be 3/8 of an inch from the top. 2, 3, and 7 3/8. And we're going to repeat that in one other spot. So I got a pretty good idea what the frame is going to look like. Next, I'm going to grab a self-healing mat. Got a metal straight edge, and this is a box cutter. You could use a craft knife, whatever you've got available. So I'm just going to use a trick that I saw from somebody else. I'm going to put a hole right on all 4 corners. And that'll give me a good starting point for my cuts. Next step is going to be to add double-sided tape all the way around the edge. And there are a lot of fun things that you can do with a frame. One of my favorite things to do, which I'm not doing with this album, but I've done it in a couple of other albums, is to add a shaker element in front of it. For example, on the cover of the Coffee Lover album, which I will link to up here. I used a shaker element frame as my closure for that album. I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm just going to pull one piece loose here. And I'm going to position the acetate. That looks pretty good right there. And now I'm going to pull all the other acetate and just lay it down. If the release paper will cooperate with me, and the acetate, we don't want you sticking down just yet. Let me get all the air bubbles out of the double-sided tape. The last thing that we're going to do for this frame is I'm going to taper these edges, and I'm going to do a shallow miter on the corners. And we're going to form the pocket for this frame and then set it aside. There'll be a little bit of a lip right there, only when all the other pieces of the album have been pulled out. That doesn't bother me. So if you're worried about it, you could always trim 1/8 of an inch off the bottom, or what you could also do is you could do a complete full mat on the page that this is going to mount to. Okay, next up we're going to take these two pieces. This is the 7 inches wide by 7 3/4 inches tall, and this one is 8 8.5 by 7. Yeah, I'm going to take these and we're going to assemble a folio that's got a gusset on it. So we're going to take the 1/2 inch tab, and I'm going to apply some double-sided tape. Then I'm going to run a line of glue along the top. If you have 3/8 inch tape or 1/2 inch tape, that might be better. The widest double-sided tape that I've got is 1/4 inch. Burnish this down. Try not to get any glue on the tool. Pull that up, and I'm going to line this other piece up just to the right of the score line and try to line it up where it's just to the right of the score line the whole way. And pull a little bit, press down, pull a little bit, press down. Okay, so this is going to be a top folding folio with a 1/4 inch gusset. We're going to set that aside with our frame. This is the base page. This page, let's go ahead and we're going to add a pocket, and this pocket is not going to have the hole in it for the frame like the other one. We're just going to taper those edges and do a shallow miter and form the pocket. Now, if you didn't like that lip of white that was visible at the bottom of the frame that we just assembled, what you could do is go ahead and mat this piece here. You could let me grab the frame here. You could go ahead, you could assemble these two pieces and then slide a mat underneath. And I may end up doing that during the matting process. We'll have to see how much paper we have left when we get to this point. So from here, the next step is going to be to mount this pocket to the base page. I'm just going to dry fit it real quick. Looks like that's going to be okay. So let's glue it down. Now we're going to glue the frame directly on top of that pocket. So what we're going to end up having is a double pocket, one of which is kind of hidden. Pattern paper up at the top is loose, so I'm going to glue that down. So let's work on this pocket here. Again, we're going to taper the free edges and shallow miter the corners. Well, that's a bit much glue. Definitely don't want that glued down. This pocket is going to get mounted to the front of that folio that we just assembled. Double check the fit here. Looks good. So this little folio here slides into the pocket on the larger folio. And this piece, which was, what was the measurements? 7 by 7.5-ish, This is going to slide right behind the frame. And we'll be able to add matting and decorations, etc. right there. And this gusseted folio here with a pocket on the front is going to slide into the pocket behind the frame. Alright, I know how I'm going to fix this. You could leave it the full length and just mess with it every time you want to pull it in and out of the album, but I'm actually going to trim about a ½ an inch off of the side that goes inside this page. So now we should have less trouble getting it to go in all the way. There we go. Great. So now we're going to work on the next page, the flip side. And these are all pocket pages, so I need to cut the pocket. And I'm going to use 65-pound cardstock for that. So the pocket is, trying to remember, it's going to be 7 3/4 inches wide by 8 3/4 inches tall. That's the pocket that's going to go on this page. We're also going to have a belly band on this page, and so the description that I've got in my write-up is 3 1/4 by 8 3/4. However, I've got this scrap that's 4 by 8 1/2, and I think that's going to be just fine. I'm going to trim it down to 3 1/4. And I'm just going to adjust where the score lines go. If you do 3 1/4 by 8 3/4, then your score lines are going to be at 1/2 inch and 8 1/4. Or if you do the fold over thing, you'll do it 1/2 inch, fold over in 7 3/4. And this is going to be a folio, and this folio is particularly large. It's going to be 6 inches tall by 18 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score, or I'm going to cut this one down to 9 inches by 6. And this one isn't gusseted like the other one was. So, and we're going to trim this one down to 9 1/2 by 6. All right, now I remember what I was thinking, and while I remember what I was thinking, we're going to go ahead and assemble this. So let's go ahead and, you know what, this is 9 1/2 and 9. I'm going to score one of these. The one I want to score. We're going to score the 9 1/2 inch tall one at 9 inches. Just so that I've got that mark there. We're not actually going to fold it over. I'm going to run double-sided tape just at the edge of that score line. I'm actually going to run second row of double-sided tape. Fingers crossed that this plan works. I'm going to score at 5 inches, and I'm not going to be able to make a score mark at 12 inches. So I'm going to rotate this around and make a score at 6 inches. So this is actually a trifold. So what we have here, we have a 5-inch section, a 7-inch section, and a 6-inch section. And we're going to secure these with magnets, 2 magnets. So we're a little over, right at like 1.25 inches from the edge here. Just going to fold that closed. Now let's grab, this is going to be a belly band, and it's 1/4 inch too short, so let's make a score mark at 3/8 of an inch instead of 1/2 inch. I'm going to fold that under, and we're going to make a, is that actually long enough? That is 8 3/4 inches by 3 1/4. Well, what do you know? I thought it was an 8 1/2 inch long piece. So we're gonna score it at 1/2 inch. Fold that under. And score at 7 3/4. Now, if you just had an 8 1/2 inch piece, then you would score it at 3/8, fold it under, and then score at 7 3/4. And you would basically have 2 3/8 inch instead of 2 1/2 inch tabs. Oh wait, we're not done. We've got the page pocket to add. So on the 7 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And on the 8 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Fold that under and score at 7 3/4. And I find that I have better luck with all the things fitting on the page when I score at, you know, if the page is 7 3/4 inches tall, if I score at the 7 3/4 inch mark, I have better luck with that piece fitting vertically on the page. Your mileage may vary on that. Before we get too much farther, we're going to add the pocket to the page because everything is going to mount on the pocket. I'm going to taper that open edge. Put a shallow miter on the corners. And then we're going to form the pocket and glue it down. here's our base page. Here's page 3. You're gonna glue this pocket right here. So way back when, gosh, I think it was the cover video, I posed a little bit of a challenge. I don't have like any prizes to give away, just bragging rights, but if you're curious what the challenge question was, be sure and check out the cover video. I'm going to link it up here somewhere. And when we get to the first matting and decor video, I will reveal the answer to the challenge. Okay, time to add the belly band. Yep, it's gonna fit just fine top to bottom. And I am going to taper these. It's just gonna make it easier to slide the trifold in and out. I'm just going to eyeball the center from side to side. This little trifold just slides right underneath. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. I release 2 videos a week. I've recently changed my release schedule, so I think we're gonna go with Friday and Sunday, maybe? I don't know. Let me guys know, or y'all let me know what you think about what would be the best release schedule. So we will see you guys next time. Bye.